everybody, one of Wisdom here. It is now Friday the 20th, and what time is it? 1:49 a.m. What better time to be unboxing things on a pool table, right? Anyway, earlier tonight, before I showered, we unboxed this bad boy right here, which if you can kind of see it drop down into view, it is the Enchanted Elven Adventure Pack. It was very nice, packaging wonderful. Comes, of course, with Boom Bloom, the location piece, which I have to say, maybe one of the best looking location pieces we have had. And then, of course, an Air Creation Crystal. Picked it up at Toys R Us for their inflated price of $31.99, $2 more than everyone else in the world. But for good reason. They currently have, and it should run through at least Saturday. It's probably something they'll reinstate at a later date. A promotion where it's buy one, get one, not 40%, not 50%, but free. So $31.99 here, anything of equal or lesser value, free. If you want another tri-tip, free. If you want Legendary Pit Boss, free. If you're like in my case, and you're not a Sony person, didn't get the starter pack with Crash, you can pick up the Thumpin Wumpa Islands Adventure Pack free under this current promotion. So I think this was oddly enough $29.99. Don't hold me to that. I checked my receipt and it doesn't say. But I believe across the board, every other retailer, these will both be $29.99. But essentially, buy one, get the other one for free under this current promotion. So I will be honest, this is something that I thought Activision would have sent out. That's one of the reasons I didn't rush out and buy it. I figured it was coming, and it never came. And I realized that an awful lot of the people, that they send stuff to are, in fact, people on a PS4, and they got the Crash Starter Pack. But for everyone else, whether you play on a 360, an Xbox One, a Wii, or I guess a Wii U only, in this case, or even the Switch, now that's going to be a thing with Skylanders Imaginators, this is kind of a big deal because this is basically a full-on adventure pack, just like Griffin Park and just like the Enchanted Elven Forest. The reason I say that, the way this works, whichever of these two characters you place on the portal first is going to unlock the Thumpin Wumpa Islands level, or expansion, if you will. So despite there not being a location piece, which personally I kind of thought would have been cool, if we sort of had the same setup, Crash here, Cortex here, in the middle, our location piece. This doesn't include a location piece, it doesn't include a creation crystal or two creation crystals, it's just straight up Crash and Cortex. So it's kind of a bundle that way. If you realize, $14.99 price point, $15 a piece, 15x2, 30. That's basically the retail. So kind of a bundle deal, but with the added perk of them unlocking a level. A lot of people, if you're not, super hardcore in the Skylanders, don't follow all the news, you will be oblivious to the fact, even though it says on the packaging, that this actually unlocks an in-game chapter. So that's kind of the reason I thought they would have sent it out. They would have wanted people to see that this little package of two exists, and you don't have to get the Crash Starter Pack, and it's not limited only to Sony consoles. They got a lot of flack for the Bowser and DK thing being tied only to Nintendo. From what I remember, and I could be mistaken here, but every single video I did on Crash or Cortex was incredibly well received. People are just super ridiculously excited about seeing these two guys, A, back, and B, back in Skylanders. My thing is, if I had to, and I shouldn't say these things in the current videos because I won't have the support of the people that feel the same way I do. If I had to rate these two, Crash and Cortex versus Bowser and DK, it's not even a contest for me. It's Bowser and Donkey Kong all the way. All day, every day, never gonna change. And like I said, I realize you're setting yourself up for hate because if people are watching this, they're probably interested in Crash and Cortex. So, a little background on it. I never played any single Crash Bandicoot game ever. And my lineage basically goes Atari. Then my sister and I got in. The Atari was not mine. It was like, I don't know who had it, but it was something in our family. Then way back in the day, my sister and I got for Christmas one year an NES. It was the one that was bundled with Duck Hunt and World Class Track Meet, all on the same cartridge, mind you, which was pretty sweet back when I was younger like that. Then we just played the snot out of the Nintendo all the way up until I got a Sega. All my friends were getting Super Nintendos, had Super Nintendos, and I was like, Sega, Sega, Sega. And so I rocked that Genesis forever. And it wasn't until, and I didn't ask for it, it was just like one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, well, cool. I was given a PlayStation 2. And that turned out to be something that I didn't mind at all because I played the snot out of that as well. But, then after that, it was, Wii U, Xbox One, 3DS, all that jazz. So I totally missed them. I have zero nostalgia for either of these characters. Am I excited to play as them? Yes. Everyone that's had them, particularly those of you that got them at launch in the starter pack, report back to me that they're both ridiculously OP in the game. I've seen several instances where Skylanders on Twitter comments back to people that are like, yay, my pack, look, I got them. Says you're going to love them. They're super strong in the game. So it's not really a hidden fact that apparently these two are ridiculously OP. It smells like a skunk. Literally. It's 2 in the morning and it's like, it starts to smell like a skunk. So there's probably crazy things going on outside. It got really windy too about an hour ago. But so am I excited? Absolutely. But do I have that same nostalgic attachment whenever? That's why I still have the Twitter profile of Hammer Slam Bowser and the little Koopa. What? God, that is so strong. You would think I had a window open. Man, I can't convey smell through a camera, but if I could, no one would be left watching this. I tell you that much. Good grief. Oh, that is rank, man. Anyway, I don't know, like Stink Bomb is getting jealous or something somewhere. But nonetheless, I mean, with those two, Bowser and DK, a Nintendo dude I am is like the greatest thing ever. I kind of thought, with the Switch and Breath of the Wild, I was like, ooh, Legend of Zelda, didn't happen, of course. I'll also say this, and this is, I realize, this is an Activision thing, and oh, how dare you speak of them. Here's the deal. If this was like Pitfall Harry, Atari version, or the one on Genesis I played, which that's a very underrated game, and I can't believe that franchise has never come back. Good grief, that is a... Oh, man. I'm about to have to, douse myself in cologne or something. I'm not making this up. It is bad. It's not like when that, scorpion spider thing ran across the pool table one time. But anyway, Pitfall Harry, I would have nostalgia to. These two, no childhood connection, no I was 13 and went to my, quote-unquote girlfriend's house and she had Crash Bandicoot. No, nothing. I have zero background with them, so when I go through and play as them, I won't have, oh, hey, haha, what a clever connection. No, none of it. So they're basically just like new Skylanders to me. So that is that on... I've never had an opportunity to play the games on any other console. When I had my PS2, it was never once, ever connected to the internet. I don't even know if I had internet. If I did, it was MSN dial-up, and it went off every time the dishwasher came on, or the phone rang. Yeah, that's, like I said, I'm old school, but very excited nonetheless, although my excitement doesn't probably come close to matching those of you who had a connection with these. If you grew up playing Crash games, I can't really do justice to that. I'll just be coming in as someone with zero experience, zero knowledge, totally irrelevant to any tie-in, and just appreciating them for what they are in the game, and how OP they apparently are. So, nonetheless, again, my biggest knock here is just we don't have a location piece, because I think they could have done something pretty cool. Based on all the B-roll footage I've been sent from Thumpin Wumpa Islands, I think it would have lent itself quite well. Even a magic item. I don't know what that little tiki guy is. I think that would have even tied in as either magic or location. But nonetheless, it is pretty cool. The packaging is once more top-notch. It's featuring Crash Bandicoot, New Level, New Adventure. Again, they say that, but again, I feel like just a lot of parents that are, picking this up, debating what to get, they're not necessarily going to understand that, because there's not the location piece we're accustomed to. So that's why I try to convey it here to you. That said, Thumpin Wumpa Islands, this is an adventure pack, so hopefully that works for people. Life and Brawler is the call out here for Crash Bandicoot, and Dr. Neo Cortex is a tech sorcerer. Very cool stuff. Coming around to the sides, you kind of got their profile. We'll save the top for last. It's guest starring Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex. So, new challenges, enemies to conquer. And then right here we have got experience the fun of Crash Bandicoot in Skyland. So I love that this is custom and not just like the generic Trigger Happy or Gill Grunt, you know. In your hand onto the portal into the game. It is that simple. And now, dun 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 dun. That is the top artwork on these is so good. I don't think people fully appreciate how awesome it is. That said, I'm going to unbox it. There's basically 2 tabs and 2 pieces of tape, if I'm not mistaken. I'll get these guys freed up. We'll go over their bios, the details, and we'll be done. So, main thing I can stress, this does include a new level. It's not there. There's no physical piece for it. But whether it's Crash or Cortex you put on the portal first, that will instantaneously unlock the level. It's located up by Enchanted Elven Forest and the Griffin Park. It's in that area of the MAP. If you've been trying to get this from your parents, you're like, oh, I don't know. That's a selling point. This is not just 2 characters. It includes a whole new level for you and your siblings or friends or family or whoever it may be to play through and enjoy. So take advantage of that. It's not necessarily strategically emphasized here, but you can point it out and then say, see, it's an adventure pack. It's more for your money. Whatever I can do to help you, I attempt to do it. And I will also say this, with the current promotion at Toys R Us, it's something that will probably come back if you miss out on it. But buy one, get one free when we're talking this value, stepping up from the $15 price point for a core character, all the way up to the adventure packs where you're getting 2 characters, creation crystals, whatever. The more you spend, the more you save, essentially. So take that, use it, save money, have some fun. So I'm going to open this up, and I will be right back. Alright, so this is probably going to be the thumbnail for the video. I worked 22 seconds to get them right where I wanted them. That's it. I suppose we'll start with Crash. I started to save him for last, but hey, it is what it is. Now, Crash Bandicoot comes into the game. He's life element, as you can tell by his base. He is a brawler. From what I understand, I believe Ominex was a big fan of him. Played a lot of the games growing up. I don't really think I've had anyone object to the way they were cast, you know, either elementally or battle class wise. So it's not like, oh, he should have been a ninja. You know, there hasn't been any of that I have heard. And again, every single video I did on Crash, on Cortex, on them combined, on Thumpin Wumpa Islands, very, very well received. Everyone's super giddy and excited about this. And I can't, off the top of my head, recall anything like, oh, I can't believe he wasn't a, blank. So apparently no objections from the diehards here. But right there, again, great work on the base. He is correct. Unlike Boom Bloom, he's got the fist up in the air for the brawler. People apparently haven't been fond of the brawlers. I love them. That Sir Skellington, I haven't made many of my own Skylanders, but thus far, he's probably my favorite. It's the first one we made. My nephew made Harambe way back in the day. He made him a brawler. I have no complaints on them, but I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority there. That said, the first thing that strikes me is just how playful this guy looks. It reminds me, in my experiences growing up, sort of Taz. Which, if Taz was a Skylander, now that would be something I could get behind. That would be, Taz and Marvin would be a sweet, double, pack, if you will. I don't know if that'll happen now, but that would be kind of cool. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section. But what I'm getting at, you see Taz and you just, that dude's cool. That's kind of the vibe you get from Crash Bandicoot. Again, knowing nothing of him, not having childhood experiences or nostalgia, it's like, yeah, this guy knows what's up. He's pretty cool. So the reason that vibe comes to you, he's got A, the grin, B, he's got the long snout, which plays off of it. The black contrast really nice with sort of like the orange-brown of his fur. The big kind of eyebrows that sort of follow you eyes with the green, which again is a super nice contrast. I think it pops a little bit more than the blue. And of course, you've got weightlifting or bike riding gloves unstrapped, of course, because that's how it has to go. He's got the jeans, but they're rolled up to be shorts. You got the versatility of both. And if the floods come, your pants don't get wet. He's rocking some red high tops with a color splash of white. When I first saw him in the packaging, it almost looked like he would be articulated. Not the case. I guess we could make it, but I'd rather not break his arm. I want him to be happy when we place him on the Portal of Power. And then just sort of, you know, the guns up, or hey, here's looking at you, kid, type of a thing. Sort of has a Fonzie-ish Taz type of a vibe, if you could potentially cross those two personalities, in my opinion. So very playful, very colorful. There's a lot of colors here, but they sort of complement and play off of one another very, very well, in my opinion. Coming around, same detail on the backside. Really, I mean, it's just kind of a pose with him. He's not holding anything. He doesn't have weaponry. It's just, hey, this is Crash Bandicoot. He's cool. We don't need to do anything else to sell him. He's set as is. No sword, no aggressive pose, just him being himself. And it works beautifully. Just for my own curiosity, the life element there, white. So far, the only one I've seen in yellow is Boom Bloom. Anyway, I don't know if anyone cares. Actually, if you watch my channel, you probably do care about that stuff. But the colors just play off of one another beautifully, in my opinion. Now, this is something I started here in Imaginators. Oh, come now. Oh, the pain. All right. And people said they liked it, so I'll continue doing it for you. His slogan, where is it? It's not printed on the website. It's not printed on the packaging. Let's listen to it. And I can see why. It's not articulated in text. So, one more time. Dabai, oh, something along those lines, right? So, his power, 200 out of 350. Defense or armor, 100 out of 350. Speed or agility, 300 out of 350. Luck, 200 out of 350. Those kind of seem to be believable statistics, in my opinion. Now, his bio is sort of a long one. It's almost like the explanation story behind everything. You've heard it before, but you're going to hear it again. A wormhole opens in Skylands and the great Aku Aku appears. He comes to announce the once in 2 decades synchronization celebration. Again, if you don't know the background story, it's the 20th anniversary. Haha, right? So it's sort of like a big celebration for everyone. In the real world, not just, you know, like Skylands things. So, it is a time when all the worlds align perfectly and they're having a huge party in the Wumpa Islands and want to invite the Skylanders. But Dr. Cortex has created a sinister machine to harness this incredible energy for his own evil purposes, only to watch it go completely haywire. Now Cortex must partner with Crash Bandicoot to stop the machine before the Wumpa Islands are completely shaken apart. So, bravo, well played. Yet another villain's plans foiled and forced to work in collaboration with their former enemies. So, that is Crash Bandicoot. He is one half of this little adventure pack here. Keep in mind, no location piece like we had here in the Enchanted Elven Forest or Griffin Park, but as soon as we place him on the portal or Cortex, the level will appear. It's supposedly only a one-time deal. I can confirm that as soon as we introduce one of these guys, so we will probably just go stand over there before I place them on. Introductions will be coming fairly soon. And now it is time for Cortex. I just have to get to where we can select tech. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, Internet, you can do it. And boom. Man, I'm excited about Robo too, but Wildstorm. I said back at the unboxing of the starter pack, that's who I'm waiting for. And big news on him if you haven't been following along. That said, Dr. Cortex. What is his background story, you ask? It's the exact same thing. So I'm not going to make you sit through it again. Cortex seems flattered. He's like, whoa, you know, whatever. So the close button would work. His power, 260 out of 350. Armor, 120 of 350. Speed or agility, 200 of 350. I wouldn't have thought him to be so quick. But again, these stats oftentimes don't transfer in any meaningful way over to the game. I've yet to figure out why they don't synchronize that. Luck, 220 out of 350. So, he has a tech element. He is a sorcerer, as you can see there. The tech bases look pretty dadgum cool in this game, I have to say. It's sort of, if you've got him in the wrong light, you don't pick up on the detail. But as soon as you get him in the right light, you're like, oh, you know, that is cool. So, bottom, tech, white print. So, now we know. His slogan, are you ready for it? Doom, doom, doom. So classic villain laugh. Never gets old. You want to hear it a fourth time? I couldn't hear you over a sinister laugh. So, based on the laugh, he has already started to grow on me. I've got a fondness for the villains, if you haven't realized. Crankcase has been phenomenal in this. Chompy Mage, if we could ever get his standard outside of that stupid villain bundle, that would be fantastic. As is, we roll with Jingle Bell Chompy Mage. But I'm excited. What I've seen, they did... I'm not sure how far they were, upgraded whenever they send out the B-roll. Both of these characters look pretty potent, but I don't think we saw everything, so I'm kind of excited about that. That said, he's sort of just got the classic mad scientist vibe going. He's got sort of the Frankenstein dome, head, if you will. Sort of, the balding pattern, sort of like an evil clown, mad scientist hair going. The red rings under the eyes, the black, sinister eyebrows, coif of hair at the top. Pretty nice beard, you got to give him credit for that. The sinister villain mustache, sort of a, he's been awarded an award from himself type of a pose. You shouldn't have. His pants are actually, I think you can tell, they're what I would call purple. And purple and white go together very nicely in my opinion. He's sort of got the yellow gloves of injustice, if you will. They look quite good. And then he's got, I guess, his ray gun, tech gun. I don't exactly know, but we're going to figure it out when we introduce him. But I have to say, the guy looks pretty cool. He's got the in emblazoned across the forehead. Not that you would notice it, right? I mean, it's only ginormous. But he, just like Crash, conveys sort of just like, hey, I'm a fun, cool dude. This guy conveys, I am an evil, mad scientist villain. And together, when you put this coupled with Crash, you've got a very nice pairing of the quintessential good guy and the quintessential bad guy, and it should be a harmonious marriage that entertains people and has established the fondness and bonds that people are excited to see them after 20 years. So, again, like I said, zero experience for me, zero past experience, zero connections, zero nostalgia. But as a guy that's into Skylanders, and knowing what I know about the people that watch my channel and have commented, I am excited. I will get these guys introduced. We'll upgrade them. We'll play through their level. We'll have a good time. I'll probably go ahead and upgrade them before we go through the level, just because I think we'd have more fun doing that. But nonetheless, that is all something to look forward to. And that said, once more, $29.99 is retail. There's going to be a lot of sales on these things. The longer you wait, the lower the prices go. Will stock be there? I don't know. But honestly, this thing that I found, the buy one, get one free, that me picking up the Enchanted Elfin Forest and getting that for free, I'm fine with that. Again, I really did think it would be sent out because they would want to be like, okay, we sent so-and-so and so-and-so and whoever else the PS4 starter pack with Crash. Let's get this in the hands of people so they can sort of usher it in. And for a while when this came out, I couldn't find it anywhere. That's another reason I didn't pick it up. But hey, I can't complain at all about what happened when I waited. So getting this for free, very, very cool. I must say, pretty proud of that little transaction. But Crash and Cortex and Thumpin Wumpa Islands, if you haven't seen my sort of Skylanders news or teasers and stuff back before the game officially came out, it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun level. It has an awful lot of tie-ins with the Crash Bandicoot series. So here these guys are. Let me know your thoughts. If you've picked it up, whether it was the starter pack for PS4, and you've already played it through everything, or if you're just holding out for this, or if you picked this up, let me know your thoughts. If you think it was worthwhile, if you like these two characters, if you agree with what I've heard from official sources and players alike, that these two are OP. And then how would you rate them against Bowser and Donkey Kong? That's really something I'm interested in. There's probably going to be a poll on the Skylander Club forum. You know the drill. SkylanderClub.com. Go over, scroll down to polls, cast your vote. You know how I'm voting. And again, these two could be phenomenal. They could play way better than the other two. Turbocharged DK and Hammer Slam Bowser. But for me, as I've said, I have no prior experience with these guys, so there's not that nostalgia connection. Whereas with Bowser and DK, it's like, oh yeah, they could have sucked. They could have been terrible, and I still would have liked it. Especially with the Clown Cruiser. I mean, DK's Barrel Racer is like, that's kind of neat. But the Clown Cruiser was like, yeah, so that's it. That will be an interesting poll. I'm excited to kind of see how everyone views. Currently, these guys would have a huge advantage because they're what's here now. That's what I always ran into with the polls if I did Warnado or Ghost Roaster versus whoever was new. The new person maintained the buzz. So that's sort of what advantage they will have initially. But I'm kind of curious to see how everyone feels on that. So be on the lookout for that. Oneofwisdom.com is my personal website. SkylanderClub.com is the forum. MindLogics.net if you're interested in Minecraft. You can follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Beam, of course. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus if you prefer those routes. That's it for myself, Crash Bandicoot, Dr. Neo Cortex, Enchanted Elven Forest, and I've got one more surprise we're going to chain together for you. That may or may not be a hint, but stay tuned for that. Again, this weekend, I hope to try and ascertain Mystical Taekwon Crow. Then we can finally do his upgrades. That's what I've been waiting on there. But that said, thanks so much for watching. For myself and these two crazy guys, we will catch you back here shortly.